Hi, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles coming at you with another toy review. And this time we're taking a look at the Rampage the Movie Subject Ralph Big City Brawl. And this is from the Rampage the Movie toy line from Lanard Toys from 2018. So the first thing we'll do is take a closer look at the packaging. You know, pretty standard Lanard Toys style packaging, so it's very similar like some of the packaging you would have seen from like the Kong Skull Island toy line. But you know, this is obviously the Rampage the Movie, so very similar style, you know, packaging. This is like one of the packaging you almost see with like with the boat and the helicopter, which the helicopter did a review on. But this is Ralph, Subject Ralph. This is probably the biggest Ralph I've seen so far. I don't think he's in actual scale to the Mega George that I've already done. They're actually a Big City Brawl. George is a lot smaller. He doesn't look like he fits in the scale compared to him, but we'll have to really see when the movie comes out and they show them all next to each other. But this thing looks amazing. So you have the Rampage the Movie, Subject Ralph, Big City Brawl, Genetic Containment Division. He comes with a character with guns, and you can see the three different characters. You got Lizzie, George, and Ralph. Lanard toy logo, and it looks to be an actual plastic like broken bust piece that comes with it. That doesn't look like it's actually like paper. It actually looks like something that comes with this, kind of like a background, which is pretty cool. And if they go on to the back, kind of the same packaging as the Mega George, you know, chomp the bust, jaw chomping action, posable legs. His mouth actually moves. I don't think he has like a jaw action where it opens up and down. I think it has to be done manually, just like Kong. They said like smashing and stuff, and it was actually you had to move him to kind of do the smashing motion. But you know, it says Big City Brawl, Genetic Containment Division. Gives you a little synopsis of the movie. Now obviously if you're not familiar with Rampage is a game that was made by Midway. It's something I played when I was a little kid, where basically you got to choose between one of three monsters: George, the gorilla, Lizzie the lizard, or Ralph the wolf, and you'd climb up buildings, smash buildings, and in that you were actually a person that was actually turned into the monster, and then you just smash the buildings and go to city to city. It looks like in the movie these are actually going to be animals that are kind of genetically mutated, so it's not going to be a person turning into the animal. But Ralph was always my favorite, so you know, having an actual Ralph toy and actually having this movie come out is just something I've been super excited about. You know, I kind of wish they would have changed the design of Ralph, but they wanted to keep him more like a wolf, and I'll really have to wait to see, you know, as far as the movie's concerned, how he pans out. But I mean, overall, like having this is it's super exciting to see this movie come out. This is probably my most exciting, my movie, for the year that I'm waiting on. I can't wait to see these monsters fight each other in Chicago. I think that looks absolutely amazing. I remember playing this game. I used to go down to Pistol Pete's Pizza when I was a kid. We'd always have my birthdays there, and this game was always there, and I always played Rampage. It was like my favorite, especially playing Ralph. So I just can't, I can't wait for this movie. And most importantly, let's get this guy opened up. Alright, so taking a look at Subject Ralph, Big City Brawl. A really, really cool figure. So obviously Ralph is going to be the main thing of this whole set. And he's pretty nice. So we'll kind of, you also get this character, which we'll take a look at a little bit later. And you also get this bust backdrop, which we'll take a little bit later. But as far as Ralph is concerned, very, very cool. I mean, he's very, very thin. I mean, that's just the way they portrayed him in the trailer as well. So, I mean, that's the way he's going to look. You can see him. Here's a side angle. But, I mean, the detail is great. The teeth, the mouth, everything looks good. The spikes on his top going all the way down the spinal cord to his tail. And as far as articulation is concerned, so he can move at his shoulder, the elbow joint, and the foot joint on the front for both the legs. The back legs are just a whole piece of plastic so he can move back and forth. His tail moves forward and back, and then his head has a chomping action, which there's no button to push it. You just kind of have to, push it down or push it up, and he does that chomping action. So nothing too crazy. I mean, nothing like pushing the legs down causes his mouth to open like some of the other toys, or he doesn't have a button to do that. But as far as, overall features, he's pretty good. His legs are a little bit warped just from the packaging, so it's kind of hard to get him to stand at first. But I mean, let's see if I can even get him to stand right now. There we go. But I mean, he's a really, really cool looking figure. But let's take a closer look at each section. So here you can see his face, and you can see that chomping action. I mean, he just looks really, really cool. I mean, they definitely made him look like a wolf. I mean, there's no mistaking that he's supposed to be anything else. But I mean, the detail is good. His ears have those really tall, pointy ears that'll kind of zoom out. I mean, they definitely made him look really, really cool and really, really unique. There you can see some of the detail on his body. I mean, I don't know if that's scarring or what that's supposed to be, but you can see like he's got like a scaly look to his arms or skin. I mean, they definitely made him look really, really crazy. As we kind of go to the back, same thing. You just see there's just more of that detail, and you see the fur on his underside of his belly. He's got that, almost looks to be like he has spikes coming out of his tail, but I don't know if it's just supposed to be the fur. But like I said, they did a great job with this guy. I think the detail for a figure, especially of this cost, it's really top notch. All the feet have their, they have their claws. They look really good, and they've got those little dew claws in the back that just look absolutely terrifying. I mean, they did a great job with the overall look of this guy. And here, just going down his spinal cord, you can see those spikes. I mean, like I said, the detail is really, really well. I mean, this whole package for the figure is only $15, so they did a great job overall with this look of this character. It also comes with a figure, like a little soldier, and he's very cheap. I mean, compared to the Davis Okoye figure that came with the Mega George, this guy is just garbage. He has basically 3 parts of articulation. He can move his arms up and down, which I'll show in a second, and then his head turns. He has 2 guns, which he can barely hold, like just barely, sometimes touching them will pop them out. They're just barely held in there. But I mean, articulation, moves his arms, his head turns, that's it. I mean, this strap here, it almost looks like a direct mold of something we saw in Kong Skull Island. I'll have to pull those out to even see, but I feel like we have something very, very similar to this. Detail in the face, very generic, like a cheap dollar store type action figure, nothing too great. Here you can see his midsection, so you can see, he looks like a soldier. I mean, he got some molding, he's got the grenades molded in there, but they're just like the same color as his vest, and he's got different pouches. His guns look like Nerf guns to me. They look like they have orange tips. It's something you see like a toy gun. It's like he has toy guns. I think it's really funny. And then going onto the back, he's got that strap. It was like his belt strap. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Just some stuff molded in the back. I mean, it's molded nicely, but just, not a lot of paint. And his feet, the boots are just molded, a solid color. They are molded, to look like a boot. So, I mean, on that end, not too bad. But overall, this figure is just, it's very underwhelming. The set also comes with a bus backdrop. I actually thought this was cardboard until I, actually looked at the package really, really well. So I think this is a really cool feature. It is just plastic. It's only, one side. You can see that, there's nice detail and broken glass. And then the back side is just plain. But it actually has a feature where you'll take this and you will actually put this right here, and then Ralph could actually bite onto it, and you can see the teeth marks in it, so he could bite onto it. And that piece would actually fall off, which I think is really cool. The detail on this is pretty good. You can see like the cracks in the glass. I think they did a good job with that. I mean, the bus is painted on the top. It's got that distressed look to it. I think they did a great job with that. Even this metal part down here, which is under that exposed part that he bites off of, is kind of painted, with the black, and it's got like the little gray tinge to it. I mean, overall, this thing is actually painted very, very well. For size comparison, here we have the Davis Okoye figure that came with the Mega George figure next to this generic soldier that came with the Subject Ralph figure. And you can see he just looks very generic. I mean, they look like two different toy lines. Obviously, they'd probably be about the same size if the generic soldier wasn't kind of like hunching his knees. But I mean, this guy has so much more articulation. It's night and day with this guy. I mean, definitely a better figure that came with the Mega George. And lastly, for size comparison, here we have the Mega George on the right next to the Big City Brawl subject Ralph figure. Now, you know, they definitely don't seem to be in the right scale. There is a Big City Brawl George set as well as a Lizzie set, and they seem to be more in line. The Mega one just seems to be a little bit, you know, too big. The Gorillas definitely seems to be bigger than the Wolf. This might be the right scale. I might just be totally wrong. You know, we'll have to wait and see. But as of right now, I mean, I haven't seen any kind of Mega figures other than the George. This is the biggest Ralph figure that you're going to get. And I think it looks great. I mean, you know, of course I wanted to get all three of the figures. So you'll also see the Big City Brawl Lizzie review coming soon as well. But overall, I think these guys look great together. I'll probably display them. I think these figures are great. Lanard Toys is not known for the greatest toys, you know, and it's only available at Walmart. Some people, that's a turn off to them. But the price is just, you cannot beat the price of these figures. That whole set that reviewed for the Ralph, you know, you get the Ralph, you get that bust, you get the figure, it's $15. I mean, that is a smoking deal for a figure. I mean, this guy that's a big figure. I mean, this guy is obviously huge. He's probably about 16 inches tall when you stand him up out of his gorilla stance. And Ralph, it's pretty big as well. But, I mean, you're looking at a $20 figure with the character on the right, and then on the left you get that bus and Ralph and a figure all for $15. I mean, with all the figures in the whole series, I mean, you could spend like $60, $70 and buy everything practically. Now they do also have another Ralph, which is basically it's basically when Ralph is exposed to the chemical that makes him larger, and they have that I've seen so far for Ralph and Lizzie. I don't know if they have that for George yet. I haven't seen that. But I mean, there is a smaller version of Ralph, but this is definitely so far the biggest one they released. I haven't seen anything as far as a Mega figure. If they do a Mega figure, I'll most certainly get the Ralph one, just because Ralph has always been my favorite in the Rampage series and in the video games and stuff. And like I said, I cannot wait for this movie. I think it's going to be an amazing movie. I just can't wait to see all three of those monsters, you know, tearing up Chicago. But once again, this is Jason with Violator Comics Collectibles. If you have questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. If you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and I'll see you guys next time.